Okay, so welcome to July's topic. This is a really fitting time because in the summer, I feel like the excuses kind of go up and the motivation goes down. So tonight we're going to be talking all about excuses. So in our, this is not right. Okay, in our conversation tonight, I'm kind of hoping to get 4 things across. I'm a teacher by trade, so I like to start things off with what we're expected to learn. So I'm kind of going to go over some common excuses, how to identify your excuses, how to then move past your excuses, and then the connection between your belief and excuses. So while I'm screen sharing, it's really hard for me to see the chat. So I'll try to come back to questions at the end. Unless you have a burning question, you can interrupt me. Okay, so number one thing that we have to realize is that we all have excuses. Throughout our journey, they're going to change, but we have to learn how to let go of our excuses and not live in them. And we have to start thinking, why am I telling myself this thing? Or what am I afraid of? And we'll get into that a little bit later. But that's the big kind of overarching thing. We have to learn to get comfortable with being very uncomfortable, because that is where we're going to grow. Honestly, I truly believe you will never grow if you don't push past your limits. And an excuse is just a limit that you're putting up for yourself. So common excuses, we're going to talk about 3. There are a ton of common excuses, but today we're going to talk specifically about 3. There we go. Okay, so number 1, I don't know enough people, or my network is too small, or everyone I know already does something similar to Plexus or already does Plexus. So drop in the chat if you have ever felt this way or had somebody on your team tell you this excuse before. Anybody had this experience? Yes, I see. Yes, yes, yes. Me today. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so sorry, there we go. Okay, so here's the thing. This is basically us telling ourselves that our network is too small, or we've kind of, everybody's already doing this, right? But I want you to stop for a second and think, how many friends do you have on your Facebook? 500, 300, 1,000? Have you really talked to all of them multiple times? How many contacts do you have in your phone? Literally hundreds, probably. And you probably could scroll through your phone right now and find 5 people that you've never talked to about Plexus that desperately need this opportunity. And even if you have reached out, like let's say you're some magical unicorn and you've already reached out to literally everyone on your Facebook feed 12 times, which none of us have, but if you have you approached them in multiple different ways? Do they not have any health goals? Do they not have any financial goals? Do they really truly know what this opportunity is and what it could be? Have you casted vision? Have you invited them to not only try the products, but an opportunity call or a mom's event or whatever their specific thing is? So I truly don't believe that we've even started scratching the surface of the people that we're already connected to, and B, that we've reached out in multiple different ways to those people. So that's kind of number 1, like where I'd start with that. And so it makes me think about this. So like for me, I didn't join the first time that my sponsor asked me. Like, it was my best friend and I still didn't join her. Like, some of you on this call may have joined the first time, but some of you on this call may have waited months. In fact, I know many of you on this call waited months, if not longer, before you joined. And so how can we fix this? Number 1, start where I just said. Start with the people that you're already connected to. Have you, like your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, people that are viewing your stories and liking your photos and things like that, your phone, the people that are in your phone right now, like go back and look at the last 20 people that you've texted and or called. Have you actually had a solid conversation with all 20 people about Plexus? If not, that's a really good place to start. Let's say you have done all those things and you're like, hey, I've really truly done those things. Then you can go beyond that. Okay, so where do you start meeting new people? find things that you like to do. I have 2 toddlers. So like we go to the park all the time. I connect with people at the park. I'm like, hey, we had so much fun today. Like, let's exchange numbers. Okay. I'm not only thinking about them for Plexus. They had kids my same age, but eventually that might come up in conversation. If you love salsa dancing, go salsa dancing, meet new people, go put yourself in uncomfortable situations and meet new people. And therefore you have new people to talk to. Right. So examples, if you like to eat, go to happy hours. If you like to exercise, join a new exercise class. If you have kids, go start some play dates. If you like to dance, go dance, like grow your network. You can also grow your network on social media by joining groups of like-minded people. Of course, groups are tricky because, the rules and things like that, but go be a genuine person and go like people and get them to like you back because you're normal and cool. Like, don't be weird, just be normal, right? I can't remember who says it. I think it's been said along the diamonds along the way, but I just love this quote. It's not the size of your network, it's the size of your dreams. And so like, I know Joanna had a tiny network when she started and she's freaking diamond. So it truly is not the size of your network. And I think the more that we can cast this vision for our people, the more, and we talk about this, the more that they are able to see that it doesn't matter who they have in their network, but it's, if they have the big enough dreams, they will get there. One last thing on this last excuse. I don't want to spend too much time, but another thing that you can strive to do is, let's say you have this person and you're like, well, I've reached out to them literally 15 times and maybe someday down the road, they'll do it with me. Another way that you can reach out to them is by asking them if they have anyone in their network that they think this would be great for. And I like to do it by pointing out specific attributes that I want in the person. And tip, usually they're the same attributes in the person I'm asking. So I'm like, hey, Marissa, like, I don't know, I know this isn't, you had said this wasn't for you, but like, I'm really trying to expand my network in your area. So maybe you have someone you can connect me with that is also a go-getter and has self-discipline and whatever, right? And so I'm really kind of speaking to Marissa, and maybe Marissa will be like, actually, that is me. But also I'm kind of giving her the out of her saying, well, maybe my sister-in-law would be interested. Let me connect you guys. So it's kind of a double whammy. Okay. Questions, comments about that excuse before I move on? I know I'm talking fast. I have a lot of stuff I want to go over and I get excited about this stuff. Okay. Next excuse. I'm doing all the things and this just isn't working for me. Anybody? Drop it in the chat. Has anybody felt this way? I'm doing all the things, but this just really doesn't work for me. Yes. I don't know where the chat went, but oh, there we go. There you are. Okay. Someone said today. Yeah. Okay. So before we really talk about this one, I would like to just kind of go over like, what is all the things? What are all the things? I know how to speak. So number one, are you doing all the things? Are you actually doing all the things? And are you consistently doing all the things? And I love this word. Are you intentionally doing all the things? Okay, because I can send 3 messages a day, but if I'm not intentionally picking the people that I'm talking to and making sure that I've engaged, I could like randomly throw out messages to people I haven't talked to since junior high. They're probably never even going to respond, right? But if I am intentionally having relationships with people and then sending messages to the people that I'm forming relationships with, they're very likely to at least look at my message, which is the first step, right? And so intentionally and consistently doing all the things. Okay. So all the things would be like, yes, obviously your IPA, right? So you're posting consistently and intentionally. Like, I'm not a big like niche person, right? But I do think that every single time you're posting, you've got to be adding value to your audience. I think that my kids are the cutest kids in the entire world. I love all your kids too, but I think my kids are the cutest. But besides like my mom and my aunts and my mother-in-law, people don't necessarily care if I'm just like, oh my gosh, love my kids. Like we had so much fun at the splash park today. I can use that very same adorable picture of my kids at the splash park and teach you something, or make you laugh at least, or use that and talk about time blocking because I love time blocking, I can use that same picture and give you some sort of value, right? I love seeing everybody's selfies and their pink drinks and things like that, but teach me about your pink drink. Teach me the benefits, because if I'm scrolling, I'm going to pick on you, Christy, just because I happen to see your name pop up. There's Christy. Whoa, I just drew on the screen. That was cool. Okay, sorry. There's Christy with her pink drink, but I need to learn about it. I need to know about it, right? So intentional and consistent posting, right? I would challenge you to post on your feed at least 5 days a week. I would challenge you to post in your stories every single day. Okay, but that's like, it's consistent and it's people know what to expect. Okay. Are you following up with people? Like I said, most of us did not join the first time that our sponsor messaged us. So people always say, well, how often should I follow up? Well, are you sending the same exact message, or do you have another way for them to get involved? Are you offering to send them a sample? Are you offering to invite them to come to join us in an accountability group of some kind? Are you having them join you in our corporate book club on Saturday? Are you having them join like I said, a mom's event that we're hosting or something like that? Like, have you talked to them about Reset? Like, if you haven't talked to every single person you've ever reached out to in your entire life about Reset, you should be, right? Are you working on yourself? Like personally, are you listening to podcasts? Are you reading books? Like, are you doing those things? Big one, are you taking care of your current customers? Like I always tell my team, I honestly don't care how many people you sign in a month. I care about how many people you retained in their second, third, fifth, eighth, 10th month, right? So are you doing those things? Are you hosting events for yourself? Are you hosting events for your level ones? Are you doing all of the actionable things? And I think when we really break it down, it's not that we're doing all the things and it's not working. It's that we're not doing all the things. We're doing the things that we enjoy and we're avoiding the things that we don't enjoy. I already know that the last thing on several people's list is to send those scary messages, because it's easy to throw up a post. It's easy to check on your people who are using products. It's easy to post in your stories and to listen to a podcast. You can listen to 1,700 podcasts about sending messages. You still got to send the dang messages. You have to do the work. You have to do it. So that's number one. And if you really are doing all the things, then you maybe need to tweak the things that you're doing or double down on some of the things. If you're really pushing for a rank, 3 messages a day ain't going to cut it. You're going to have to send 6. You're going to have to send 8. You might have to get in touch with 10 people. If you're really pushing to grow your business by 100 points in a month, then sending 3 messages that are kind of random, it ain't going to cut it. You have to be engaging and interacting and asking questions and putting yourself out there and meeting new people all the time. And so I just kind of want to really quickly paint a picture for you. We are super lucky. Like I just came back from the splash park. My hair is in a bun, etc. So we could just show up to our business however we want, but we have to show up. Like we have to plant the seeds. We have to grow. And so, like I always say, someone else told me this one time, but like, this is my quote of all quotes. This business works for people that work this business. Write that down in all caps. This business works for people that work the business. Okay. And if you are only like, yeah, I want to work 5 hours a week, that's fine, but work your 5 hours a week. If you're like, I'm growing, I'm blowing up, I'm balling out, I'm working 15 hours a week, I'm going Emerald in August, then work your 15 hours a week, do all of the things that you're committing to yourself and grow your business, right? So that is just like so huge to me. It's not like a big secret. You just have to show up every single day and do the actual work that grows your business. If you are sitting here and you're like, I'm unclear at what that actual work is, start with an IPA sheet. Talk to your sponsor and nail it down and schedule it in, make an appointment. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, questions about this excuse. Next little piece before you can put them in the chat. You will get this a lot from your people, especially like, a new silver who maybe goes fast start silver because they just, had their husband and their mom and their best friend do it. And then they're kind of like, I kind of want to do this, but I feel like I'm doing the things and it's not working for me. You really have to break it down. What are you at? Like, what are you actually doing? Send me screenshots. I want to know, like, as a leader, all of us on here were golds and above. As a leader, you need to get really involved with that. Send me the screenshots that you're sending people. How are you interacting with these people beforehand? Like, they don't necessarily know. We have to vision cast that. We have to like handhold that step. Okay. I didn't see any questions coming up. Yes, totally, Jordan. And I have in my notes here that like, there is this line, right, of like in network marketing where at this point, you probably, if you are like gold, senior gold, potentially ruby, whatever, you feel like it's like this: work, 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 paycheck. Work, 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 paycheck. Okay, right? That's not the dream. The dream is quite the opposite. The dream is work, help all my little people below me, not little people, all my people. And just, there's a lot of them. That's why they're little. Work, paycheck, 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 work, help all these people work, paycheck, paycheck, paycheck. Like, that is the dream. That is what we are all working for. And that is by helping all of these other people along the way to get that. I work, I do my business consistently and intentionally. Okay. So the third excuse here is, I would say the one we would probably get the most often: I don't have time for this, or I only have time to post, but I don't have time to send messages. Or the opposite: I can't post on social media. I don't have time to think of posts, but I will send messages, right? Raise your hand or let me know in the chat if you've felt this way and or experienced this on your team. Heard it from many. Yes. Common objection. Yes. Okay. So I know that, so like I said, I'm a teacher. I would say that my first 2 years, I told myself, well, I'm going to work Plexus over winter break because I'm going to have more time. I'm not going to be teaching, or over summer break because I'm really going to have more time and flexibility. And so you've maybe said this, I will focus, it's already July 7th. I've already kind of dilly-dally this whole first week. So when my kids go back to school in August, I'll focus on Plexus. Or when it's winter and it's not as nice outside, I'll focus on Plexus. Or the opposite: when it's nice weather and I can sit outside and work while my kids play, I'll focus on Plexus. Like, all of the things, right? All of the things. The truth is, and you will hear this from anybody you talk to, we all have the same 24 hours in the day. You will never find time. You will never find time. You will have to make time. Now, if I told you that I'm going to give every single person on this call a massage, you have to be there at 8 a.m. tomorrow, 95% of you would move mountains to go get that massage at 8 a.m. tomorrow. You would figure out childcare. You would figure out how to get your broken car fixed before then. Like, you would get there. You would be Ubering there. Like, you would all get there to get that dang massage, right? It's an appointment, and it's something that you get to do. You enjoy it, right? And so just like that appointment for your massage or for your pedicure or for your hair appointment or your whatever you do, right, that you don't miss and you schedule out weeks in advance, you have to treat your business like that. You have to treat your time in your business like that. And so if you say that you are going to send your messages during your kids' nap time and then you don't do it, you're truly just giving up on yourself. Like, you're truly allowing yourself to live in that excuse, like, truly. And that makes me really, really sad when I see that happening. And then we sabotage ourselves. I do that to myself too. And so I'm a big fan of time blocking. We don't have really time to go into that in this call. But you have to figure out what works for you. You have to schedule in your time. Get creative. Did you know that people go to the bathroom several times a day? People check their phones over 100 times a day. Oftentimes people that work and can't do anything at work take their phones and scroll on social media while they're in the bathroom. We all know we have husbands like that too, right? So like, sometimes I kind of like really wish that my phone didn't tell me the report of my screen time. Because I'm like, no way I was on my phone for 6 hours a day. No way, right? But like, I am. We are. Everyone is. And so if you can be productive with your time, you can make a lot happen in a little bit of time. Like I said, when I first started time blocking, one of the biggest ahas for me was the wasted 15, 20, 30 minutes in a day that I was kind of, oh, I'm working, but like I would get distracted and I'd end up in the team threads and like, no, that is not income producing. Like going on a team page and looking at things is not income producing. Messaging people on your team already back is not income, like, no. So that's the first thing I do when I'm in my working block is go send my new messages, go get my post up, go engage, like do the things that I need to do to actually move the needle in my business. Hint, hint, it's the things that you are avoiding that you should do first. The things that make you feel sick to your stomach or that you're avoiding, you need to do first. Yeah, Carline is a really good place. And so you get to ask yourself, like we have flexibility in this. So you get to ask yourself, when would I like to work my business? How many hours am I committing to this week to work my business? And then go schedule them in. I know that we are in summer. So schedule in your work hours, schedule in your fun hours, schedule in your date night, schedule in your kid time, schedule in your cleaning house. Like you can fit it all in. You just have to be really, really strategic about it. The other things that like you might have to do is get creative. You might have to wake up earlier or stay up later or not take a nap with your kids. You might have to delegate some tasks. Okay. So like go pay a college or high school girl and $20 to do your laundry for you, $100 to do your laundry. I don't know, whatever, how much laundry you have. And while she's doing your laundry, work your Plexus business. Do Instacart. Don't go to the grocery store. Do HelloFresh or hire someone to come meal prep for you. Whatever it is like that you can delegate. If you can delegate those tasks to grow your business, like really quickly, you'll start paying for those tasks with the growth that you've made from your business, right? Your time is like, we all want time freedom, but your time is not free. Like you have got to schedule them in and make your business one of your priorities. Am I telling you to put it over your family and your husband and your other real job or whatever? Absolutely not. But it should be an equal priority to the other have to do things in your life. I am a really big nap time hustler because both my kids nap at the same time and it's a non-negotiable for me. If one of them doesn't nap, I still get the stuff done. I just get it done later in the day. Questions about time? Yeah, Joanna said she paid her pastor's teenage daughter $20 to come fold and put away all their laundry once a week. Like that is life-changing, life-changing. Marissa delegated her husband to make lunches. Like, yes, you can get creative and get your shareholders. Like if you have older kids, homeboy is emptying the dishwasher because that's not something you enjoy doing. And you can go send 3 messages while that little task is being done, right? Yes, love it. Okay. Matching socks. I love it, Marissa. Getting a house cleaner is the best thing you ever done. Same. Okay. So how to identify excuses. So here's the thing. We're all going to have excuses throughout our business, like I said, but the difference is, what are you willing to sacrifice to make this business work? And again, asking yourself that question, do I really want this? And here's what I would encourage you to do. Every time you hear yourself giving an excuse to yourself, you need to say, okay, and so let's say I say, well, Katie, you really just don't have time to send the messages today. Okay, yeah, and like, I'm still going to send the message. Like I'm telling myself the positive side of it. Okay, and if I don't send the messages, I feel yucky, my business doesn't grow, whatever. And if I do send the messages, I took the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, to send the messages, and my business eventually will grow. Even maybe not from those 3, but eventually from all my other messaging, right? You also have to think about, what are you afraid of? Okay, and this goes back into this excuses. Okay, so what are you afraid of? So when you tell yourself that you don't have time, is it that you're afraid that if you spend your time doing this business and you fail, people around you are going to wonder why you gave up XYZ thing to do this business and you failed, or, to run this event and nobody signed up? Are you worried that your husband isn't going to support your business because you came on a team call and you didn't make $1 million in 1 year? Like, what are you afraid of? And you really, truly have to get down to this. You have got to get down to that root. And so I like to ask the same, okay, and, or yes, and, like, what am I afraid of? A lot of times it's that I'm afraid to make myself feel uncomfortable. I'm afraid of that growth. Like I say I want to grow, but then when I come to the wall and I realize that there's not a ladder, there's not an elevator, I'm going to have to find a way to hurl my body over this wall. And I have no upper body strength. So first I've got to figure out how to build that upper body strength. Like, it is all part of this piece. So that's the very first thing you've got to ask yourself is like, what am I afraid of? When I say that I've reached out to everybody I know, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid that people are going to think I'm annoying them when I come back around and reach out to them? Am I afraid of those people that I say I've reached out to everybody, but really there's those people up there that I know would kill it at this business and I haven't reached out to them yet? Like, is that what I'm afraid of? You know what I mean? Okay. Belief and excuses. So this one to me is like a huge thing. So a belief to me is just a thought that you keep on thinking. Okay. So we all have been telling ourselves these excuses over and over and over, and they become our beliefs. And so most of the time we continue to tell ourselves that something is not possible when actually we just have to face what it would take to make it possible. So really quickly, I just want to go over a few of these things. So some of the things that we tell ourselves are, but I'm not good at it. People won't approve of me or like this. This is too hard. It's too risky. It's going to take too long to get where I want to go. It costs too much. We don't really have that issue, but some people will say that for sure. This gets overwhelming. I can't keep up in the threads. I don't know where to turn to. I don't know what to post. Again, I don't have time. This is not possible. I could never do what Jordan does. I could never do what Joanna and Emily do. I could never do what my upline is doing. Okay. But I would encourage us to go back and ask us that, why? Like, again, I'm not good at it. Well, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of failure, right? People won't approve of me. Well, I'm probably afraid of being judged. Okay. This is too hard. Well, I'm probably telling myself that excuse because I think that it's not possible. So I'm telling myself it's hard just in case I fail, right? Because if I tell myself this is easy and I fail, then I'm absolutely a failure, right? So that's why I'm telling myself this excuse. This is too risky. Well, if you don't take a risk, you can't fail again. So I'm telling myself that to protect myself. This is taking too long. I've been gold for a year. Why am I not senior gold? Okay, again, my team hears me say this all the time. If it takes you 10 years to go diamond and be making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, is that worth it? Yes, because in 10 years as a teacher, I will not be making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. In fact, if I taught until the day I died, I would never make $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So like, what is too long? Too long is just like a figure of who, like, it's, I don't care how long it takes. When I get there, it's worth it, right? When people, we know that we can afford this, we are ordering our products and growing our businesses. But when people say that, it's like, how could you afford this? Okay. So kind of flipping that around, like, what if you didn't have to go get your energy drinks or your, I don't know, whatever. What if your kids weren't going to the doctor all the time and you weren't paying that $30 copay because they were happier and healthier? Like, what could we do to make them to make it this affordable for you? This one I love because I feel like we as leaders say this probably in our heads, probably not out loud as much, but we do that. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where I have literally 57 messenger notifications at this current moment and 3 text messages. So I could easily say I'm overwhelmed and putting my phone away. Right. But like, if I were to put a hamburger and fries in front of you, like, do you put the whole entire hamburger and dump all the fries in your mouth at one time and start chewing? No, you take bites and you chew and you have sips of water in between. So like that is like, you just bite off what you can chew and you go slowly and you digest your whole meal. A lot of us are resetting right now. So sorry for bringing that up. I haven't eaten in 3 days either. Yeah, right. I know, Jordan. Again, I don't have time. Okay, make it a priority and make yourself have time. The other thing, the last one I want to bring up about your beliefs is that people who have accomplished what you want to accomplish got there by doing something each day that scared them. They got there by doing something different. They got there by getting uncomfortable, and they tried. They failed many, many, many times, many more times than you have. They tried, they got back up, they kept trying. Maybe they tried something new. Maybe they failed miserably and they tried again. The difference between an emerald and a diamond is the diamonds failed many, many more times than the emerald. The difference between a gold and an emerald is that the emerald has failed many, many more times than the gold. Like that is the difference. But the diamond never gave up, kept trying, stuck with it, stayed consistent, never gave up. Okay, so I think, okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Okay, so I can see all your faces. Okay, so I want you to get out a piece of paper if you don't have one. And I want you to write down one excuse that you have been telling yourself over at some point in the last 90 days. And I want you to write it on a piece of paper. Okay, you have like 10 more seconds.
Sorry, what did you just tell us to do?
Write down an excuse that you've been telling yourself at some point in the last 90 days. Or if you haven't been, if you've been a baller in the at any point in your business, an excuse that you've been telling yourself. Like, I don't have enough time, people won't approve of me, whatever it might be. Any excuse. Okay. Got most of them, most everyone have it. Okay. Now you're going to need 2 hands. So if you're driving, you can't do this activity. We're going to do a little activity. My team, you've already done this, so bear with me. But when I say go, I want you to clasp your hands together like this. Go. Okay, so naturally, my left thumb went over my right. We all have our way that you just mindlessly did that. You literally did not even think about it. And so when I say go again, I want you to unclasp and reclasp with your other thumb on top. Go. Now, was the second way harder? Did you have to think about it more? Was it uncomfortable? Like, it feels super awkward for me to do it like that. Hey guys, I'm almost done, okay? Okay, check on me. It feels really uncomfortable to do it like that, right? Is it impossible? No. Could you practice doing it more and more and make it feel more comfortable? I'm okay, yes. Yes. Is it something you could do every single day? Yes. And so while it may be harder, while it might feel more uncomfortable, while it might not be a natural thing for you, it's doable and it's possible. And this is the exact, like this, I love this model because this is exactly what this business is all about. The first way is the excuse that you've been telling yourself over and over. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, you can keep believing that. You can keep telling yourself that excuse, but it's not going to change anything in your business unless you change something. So get uncomfortable, do it this way. Tell yourself, I have time for this business. I'm making time for this business. And like, literally, I have found myself now in this practice when I'm kind of trying to reset my brain. I'm like holding my hands the uncomfortable way because it's another physical reminder for me that like I can do hard things, right? I tell my kids this all the time. Like I would never let my kids say, I don't have time for something, but we let ourselves say that. So that's your reminder, like the uncomfortable clasp is your reminder that like whatever excuses you're telling yourself in your business or your life, like you can do this. It is possible. You just have to find a way. You have to like identify the excuse to yourself and ask yourself what you're afraid of and then go change it. Go clasp the other way and go change it. Okay, questions. Comments, questions. I know I like flew through that, but I didn't want to keep anybody too long.
I have a question.
Yes.
When it's not you, but it's your teammate having these excuses, what does that conversation look like? Like, how do you start that? How do you bring it up when it's a teammate of yours that you totally believe in?
So I've had this conversation with like lots of my teammates and I'm literally asking them that question. What are you afraid of? Like, why do you feel like you keep giving up on yourself? And I start that conversation with like the whole, I love you way too much to let you keep quitting on yourself, to let you keep telling yourself that you don't have time. So what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid that your team isn't going to work with you and rally with you so that's why you're not saying you're going to go for the next goal? Or that's why you're not sending the messages. Like I'm asking my teammates, what are you afraid of? And that like almost always oftentimes elicits tears and it oftentimes elicits a really good conversation. People don't even realize that they're really truly afraid of something. You can say in here if you're quiet.
Okay, then no more TV then.
No, I don't. But
Any other questions? Jordan, are you unmuted? Little stinkers.
I have one.
Yeah.
Going back to what you talked, just something you said in the beginning just hit me because I feel like we as a team focus a lot on how many ads you have a month because it's awesome. It means you're doing the things, but you said to care less about how many ads they have per month and more on retention, 30, 60, 90 days. Is there anything specific you do to track that, to encourage that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super great at tracking people below my own level ones in my own like team. But it's definitely something that like I just try to really I feel like we talk about a lot on our team in terms of like keep checking in on your people and helping them like love their products and all of that stuff. So that like yes, we announce the ads, but it's definitely something that like I feel like as leaders, we should be recognizing people that have retained people for 60, 90, 120 days. I do like the success steps for that because we have to retain 6 people from the previous 90 days. So like that's a really good way that we can encourage people. And it's all like in that report. If you click where it says view my team's report, you can see that. So that's really cool. I don't really have like a system necessarily that I follow, but I think just like in terms of like tracking it, but I think just like really implementing that we take care of our customers. Like getting them to join is not the hard part. Getting them to stay and love their products is the hard part.
I'm just going to add this in because Jordan, whenever you go, I don't know if you still get them when you're senior Ruby, but I know you do in your Emerald, you get a corporate coach. And I usually have them run a report of the percentage of silvers. Because to me, like if they go silver, that's the best retention tool. And so a healthy silver percentage is 20%. That means you are growing. If 20% of your ads are going silver. And so that's something you can have your corporate coach run for you. And that's been really helpful for me.
And your corporate coach can run your 30, 60, 90 day percentage of retention. And it's quite eye-opening and a good goal. Like if you're like, okay, well, we were only at 50% retention 90 days out, like let's shoot for 55% next month or whatever. And like Marissa said, on our team, we really, really encourage people to run their numbers like daily so that you can see where subs are getting turned off, checking perks reports, all of that stuff, like on a daily basis so that you're keeping people ordering. I don't know if that was helpful. Anything else? Sorry. Okay, well, I want to leave you by saying that whatever excuse you just wrote down in your paper, you need to go rip it up and throw it in the trash because it's not going to stand here. You're going to get uncomfortable for the next 90 days. I want you to practice getting uncomfortable and see what happens to your business because I can almost guarantee you big things will happen and your business will grow. Thank you for being here. So proud of you for earning this call. Everybody has to turn their cameras on really quick so we can smile so I can take a picture. Not so we can smile. Okay, ready? Okay, I only can do one page, so sorry about the people on page 2. Okay, cheese. Okay, I'll go to page 2 now. Cheese. Okay, love you all. Thank you for being here.